What's shaking YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of the Long Box presents the cover price comic book shakers of the week. As usual, we are fashionably late, but as you guys get situated, you know what time it is. I was on such a groove today on my Instagram playing some old vinyls, so I had realized I have a bunch of freestyle records that I don't want to bore you guys with Freestyle Friday, but we have to. It's Freestyle Friday, so you guys are congregating. Let's get some freestyle music up in here, man. It's a tradition. Let's find it now. Whoops. We need Randall Park.
The baddest on the microphone apparatus is here. When I rock a rhyme, often eyes are dropping a tear. It's so beautiful, it's America's landscapes when this man makes lyrics like the syrups that you pour upon your pancakes. My mandate is to grip minds like a handshake. Spit Orlando Lakes and go skinny dip with the fan base. Over any damn breakbeat, I hastily make pastries tastier than anything that Wolfgang makes. So take notes out of suckers, I make coats, lump of some like Bubba Gump, fishing on lake boats. I take jokes and turn the comedy into drama. I'm bagging on your mama, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer behind ya. I'm a rhyme writer, lock stock, smoking the ganja. Rebuttals befuddle, leaving a puddle of saliva, sillies. You couldn't handle Randall when I throw my grammar at you. It hit your head and you would think I threw a hammer at you. I point the camera at you like Herb Ritz. Develop it, then use the pictures to pick up bird shits. You're nervous as the impervious wordsmiths hanging out in Rafa's new crib come with the verses.
What's shaking, everybody? As I steal a term from our man King of the Golden State. Shout out to everybody in the live chat. You guys are cranking to the music. It just, wouldn't be a shaker show if it didn't play freestyle music. And we had some Randall Park. Gabe, say what's good to the people.
Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome in. Thanks for showing up. There's some fun stuff on the list today to talk about. So you might have some chances too. Not so much an offer, but we got some good stuff. Let's see what's going on today.
JB, say what's good to the people.
Man, thanks for joining us tonight. We have another fantastic list for you. I don't think it's an over list, but there's some great knowledge about to get shared tonight. Stick around.
I can't promise that there won't be any Wolverine, Deadpool related books. I'll just say that. But let's just say
just wait till the top 10 list next week.
We're going to delve deeper into it. There was a lot of research done by Matt and his team over at Cover Price to bring you this great list. Speaking of which, this list is sponsored by our friends over at coverprice.com for your price guides, collections, and trends. The top 10 list that we do every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and the Shaker Show we do every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific. If you're on Alexa, say, Alexa, play Lords of the Long Box podcast on Spotify. Show is also sponsored by our friends over at MySlabs. If you're selling a $60,000 book, 0 seller fees. But either way, it's still, less than 10 or 50% if they're not worth $60,000. So let's get right to it, boys and girls. As I pull up the graphic and read my notes. This show is brought from our friends from Cover Price, focusing on biggest sales or most interesting sales found on their daily Shakers list. After these 10, we're going to see what's shaking today. So it's not always the big dollar books that are being sold. Sometimes it's the more interesting sales. And with that, what do we have for the first one?
All right. First one on the list, we've got The Adventures of Sly Cooper, issue number 2, originally published in 2004 from GamePro magazine. Now, who remembers Sly Cooper, the young raccoon master thief? Well,
I don't.
The community does. And in the lead up to his 20th anniversary, a fan of the character just dropped $350 for a reported VF Raw copy of the second issue of a limited series. Now, 2 no-grade Raw copies also sold earlier this year for around $200. This book was released for free in conjunction with GamePro magazine. Issue number 2 takes place during the gap between the second and third Sly Cooper video game. Now, while the print run is unknown, it goes without saying that this book was not an incredibly widely released book, and those it catered to were meant to read it, enjoy it, and read it again, thus leaving the community with a lack of higher grade copies. Now, back in the day, Sly Cooper was everywhere, a fan favorite in line with the likes of Ratchet and Clank and Jak and Daxter. Sly was a titan of the industry, launching several high-profile flagship games, an animated movie, incredible merchandising, and his very own comic. While anthropomorphic animals have become less popular over time,
Nailed it.
Inevitably, their popularity will rise again, as they always do, and one lucky fan will be ready for that day after acquiring issue number 2, the ironically higher value book out of the 2 Sly Cooper comics.
I feel really old because I have no idea who the hell Sly Cooper is. I don't remember a game. I don't remember a comic. Definitely don't remember an animated movie or anything, but apparently somebody does. So The Adventures of Sly Cooper, issue number 2 from GamePro magazine from January 2004, a VF Raw for $350. Wow. Okay. This one kind of makes more sense. And this is one of my favorite covers that are actually on this list.
You're muted, Gabe.
There we go. 1 second.
There you go.
Okay, so number 2, Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues. Number 1, this is the Kagan McLeod 1 in 10 variant from IDW 2019. With 5 seasons of Cobra Kai and a new Karate Kid film in the works, the overall franchise heat continues to extend to this 2019 IDW series. When it was first released, comic shops ignored this series, knowing that licensed comics based on TV shows and film tend to perform poorly in sales. Absolutely true. The first series found critical success on YouTube Red, but struggled to find an audience. It appeared that this comic series was destined to linger at the bottom of the dollar bins. That is, until Netflix picked up the series and made it the most watched series upon its release. People love it, and it quickly became a massive hit, expanding the world with each season. Collectors rushed to buy up all the covers of these series, pushing all issues to huge new heights. Typically, after that initial rush, prices will tend to fall. Yet, the variants have proven to be very difficult to find and continue to command top dollar. This 1 in 10 logo variant is just one example, hitting a new high of $169 for a near mint raw copy. Keep in mind that there is a 1 in 25 that's almost impossible to find, which was snatched up at a steal for $100 in near mint about 2 weeks ago. The other incentive covers for this series are Ghost, The popular NES variant for issue number 3 sold last August when a 9.2 copy sold for $95. The last time a raw copy appeared was back in March 2022. With such scarcity and continued success for the Karate Kid franchise, expect these to continue to rise in value.
Yeah, do you guys remember YouTube Red? Remember when they were doing their own original content and Karate Kid had a cult following? And then it went on Netflix and it just kind of blew up. And it was, if you didn't know about
YouTube. Can you believe that? Come on, man.
That was the only reason to get YouTube Red at the time.
Exactly. And it kind of flipped the script and it made Johnny, a kind of anti-hero. And it's still this weird thing that, the most important thing is a karate championship in the San Fernando Valley. It's the weirdest thing ever, right?
It's two guys with small businesses having an argument between one another.
It's
like
the not
most
a
massive
U.S.
scale.
championship. It's not a state championship. It's the All Valley Championship in the San Fernando Valley of all places.
It's a bunch of rich kids beating each other up.
Yeah, and it's just like as soon as some kid learns jiu-jitsu, he's just going to come and submit every single one of them, right? He's going to just tackle him down and choke him out, and then the Karate Kid will be over. But it's fun, nostalgia to take. But, it's kind of, I would like to see a bit more realistic MMA. But then again, it's just, hey, what are you going to do? We got, Ralph Macchio and what's his name? Johnny, who always seems to play the bad guy, got to turn it around. And this last season was really kind of the fight choreography has stepped up a bit. And the storytelling, it continues to evolve. It's like you know who's a good guy, who's the bad guy, and I won't delve into too much. I'll let you watch it for yourself. But Cobra Kai, the Karate Kid saga continues for the All Valley, Championship.
Valley.
Yeah, for All Valley, sweep a leg. Kagan McLeod 1-10 from IDW from 2019. All right, this perfect, just in time. Halloween or October's right around the corner. Getting some horror books on here.
Man, this is a good one. You guys ready for this story? Elvira's House of Mystery issues number 1 and 11, originally published in 1985 from DC Comics. Now, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, captured network TV viewers with tight-fitting, low-cut cleavage displaying black gown and a Valley Girl overall satirical and sarcastic tone. As hostess of B horror films, Elvira dropped risque double entendres and joked about her cleavage on national TV. Her popularity soared and turned her into an iconic cult figure of horror. Now, her comic series has been severely underrated and undervalued. Her first appearance in comic books features an iconic and awesome cover by Brian Boland, which just sold for $300 for a CGC 9.4, a new high for that grade. Now, the all-time high goes to a $600 9.8 sale last month. This series is packed with fantastic artwork and covers. However, the star of the series is Dan Stevens' classic cover for issue number 11, which sold for a new high of $450 in a 9.8. Now, whether you're nostalgic for 80s television, a horror collector, or a Halloween cover collector, then these issues are a must-have for your collection.
Gabe, I'm pretty sure you remember because I'm pretty sure I talked to you there at Stan Lee's Kamikaze. Do you remember the Elvira giant booth that she had one of the years when Stan Lee was still alive? It was like the last time it was called Stan Lee's Kamikaze, I think. Elvira had a huge booth that just like went around forever, and she had and she was there signing things and everything, and it was kind of amazing how big her booth was and how popular she is, even though she hasn't really been relevant in a long time, but cult following, and who would have known she's actually a natural redhead. But there you go. So before Elvira follows the same motif as the Munsters and Addams Family, Morticia, all those kind of gals. She has that look, but definitely there are two reasons people were watching was not for the B-rated. I think I saw Blackula on the Elvira thing. It was on at midnight, but that's all I remember was Elvira. It was like every commercial break, I was like, I want to see Elvira. I don't care about the movie because the movies were pretty bad, man. All right, so let's stick with the horror theme, shall we?
All right, coming up, here we go. We got Jeffrey Dahmer, the unauthorized biography by Boneyard Press. This is from 1992. 1992 audiences have always had a huge interest in true crime and the crimes and stories of serial killers. This subculture has small conventions attended by thousands of people and various amounts of items related to the crimes and those that committed them. This fascination leads to various forms of media as well. And in this case, comic books based on the crimes. This week saw a ton of interest in sales of the Jeffrey Dahmer comic from Boneyard Press. There are a handful of other comic books about the Dahmer story, such as My Friend Dahmer and Cycle Number 5, that have also had many sales. But this particular Boneyard Press book stands above them in price and availability. This issue has sold so many copies this week that it has crept into our movers list. The high sell this week appears to be $125 for a near mint raw copy and $130 for a near mint raw sale for the second print. This book, that had a second print? Interesting. This book was also featured in the Netflix series Dahmer and was also notorious prior to the series due to the protests by the families of the victims for it being released to all. While this may seem morbid and dark to some, there is plenty of interest for many others, as shown by the number of views and watches shows like this achieve. I would expect to see more stories like this told in this format moving forward.
Yeah, talk about morbid. I mean,
this is.
I mean, I can see how the families like. It's bad enough the families have to relive it in the Netflix series, which is really freaky. Because I'm old enough to remember when this happened. And I'm old enough to remember that he got beat to death in prison. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched the movie yet, but but he was killing, having sex with the corpses, and then eating them. Is the gist of it. It is, it's a pretty morbid thing to go out there. But there's a whole subset of collecting that into this kind of dark memorabilia. So Jeffrey Dahmer, Boneyard Press from 1992. There's no easy transition for this because we're going from Jeffrey Dahmer to this. So right, I'm just going to go to take at it. There you go. Perfect transition.
You just got to go for it. Ryan's ready for this one. Next up on the list, we've got He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, issue number 1. The Terry Dodson 1-in-25 variant, originally published in 2013 from DC Comics. Now, the golden age of cartoons for me started with G.I. Joe and Transformers and continued with He-Man and Thundercats. Now, they were all made to not necessarily entertain boys, but to sell toys made by Hasbro and Mattel. Now, in order to diversify their He-Man line to include girls, Mattel made Princess of Power in 1984, and She-Ra was the leader and the most popular character. Over the years, she has starred in several animated movies, most recently in 2018 on Netflix, and is scheduled to have a live-action series on Amazon. This variant has turned out to become rather rare, with only a handful of sales since 2017. This week, a graded 9.8 sold for a record time $750 on September 25th. Maybe it's time to look into more She-Ra books, huh, guys? What do you think?
That's pretty rare, man. It won at 25 in 2013, especially from DC. But live action She-Ra, why not? I mean, if she's flying a giant Pegasus, then I'd love to see that in real life. Live action. But it's just like we said, it doesn't matter. We've been saying it ad nauseum every week, man. It doesn't matter if it wasn't originally a comic book. If there's a new property that comes out, go buy the comic. Just like right now, if you look hard enough, there's Indiana Jones 5 footage out there. There's an Indiana Jones comic book. So I would imagine, even though when Indiana Jones came out, nobody cared about it, but Marvel did. Marvel had all kinds of weird licenses back then. So those Indiana Jones books are going to go up just like how the Star Wars books going up. So it's just kind of, hey, man, read the tea leaves. You know what I'm saying? So speaking of which, let's hear from our sponsor, MySlabs. If you're tired of paying 10, 15, 20%, join the 1% revolution.
The platform designed by collectors for collectors just got even better. MySlabs.com is proud to now feature dedicated sections for both raw cards and raw comic books. Browse over 100,000 slab collectibles, authenticated by the industry's most trusted grading companies. Then check out a massive selection of sealed wax and now raw singles and raw lots. Join a passionate, no-nonsense community of nearly 50,000 members and enjoy some of the best buyer and seller protection in the business. And as always, MySlabs offers one of the most disruptive pricing models in the hobby, with seller fees as low as only 1%. So the next time you're forced to pay 10%, 20%, or more to sell something from your collection, head over to MySlabs.com, the low-fee marketplace, by collectors, for collectors.
All right, so we got off with Jeffrey Dahmer and She-Ra. What can we get into next?
All right. Well, there's a transition here into Magneto, The Twisting of a Soul #0. This is the gold logo variant from Marvel 1993. Many may not realize that Magneto's background as a Holocaust survivor wasn't revealed until Uncanny X-Men 150. This origin changed everything we knew about the character and gave immense depth to the villain's motivations and actions. It humanized him, despite his actions often reflecting those of his captors. With a Bill Sienkiewicz cover, this special #0 edition of Magneto, The Twisting of a Soul featured a collection of stories around Magneto's origin and long history with Nazis, even working with the government as a Nazi hunter. This was a free promotional comic sent to retailers to kick off the long-foreseen Sega Genesis contest, The Hunt for Magneto. Some stores received this special gold version as a thank you. A copy just sold for a new high of $600 this week. It's not easy to find. So what makes this book so special? Listed in the included poster, fans were given a checklist of books to chase over a 2-month period and then follow clues via an insert across 13 various X titles. Fans had to remove the insert, rip off the trading card, answer the clue, and send it in for an entry into the drawing. There were 13 cards inserted with another 5-card redemption set. Each insert also included an instant win scratcher to obtain one of those rare 5 mail-in card redemptions. For the overall drawing, first place won a complete set of X-Men and Avengers final issues, the 90s first series, that and the original art used for the exclusive trading card set.
No.
Second place was an X-Men or Avengers full-size arcade game and signed uncut trading card sheet. Third place was a special X-Men animated series jacket and a signed uncut sheet. Fourth place received a Sega Genesis that had multiple winners. Fifth place received an X-Men video game that was multiple winners as well. And sixth place received VHS tapes of the X-Men animated series. So not a bad promotion at all. Man, I want that jacket. Third place.
I know, right? I don't think we... Go ahead.
Okay, there's a great video on YouTube showing all the inserts, or you can even view the entire set. All that stuff you can find on Cover Price. If you're looking for the inserts, the 13 titles from 1993 were Cable #4, Uncanny X-Men 303, X-Factor 93, X-Men 23, Avengers 365, Wolverine #72, X-Men Adventures #10, Avengers West Coast #98, Captain America 419, X-Factor 94, Marvel Age 128, Iron Man 296, and Thor 466. Those five redemption cards can sell for a nice premium for their own. That's a lot of stuff to go through.
That's incredible, man.
13 different books. The only time I can really remember this is, do you guys remember the Valiant book where you cut it out and then I think you got a Harbinger 0 book and a few customers got the pink variant, I do believe. Yeah. Nowadays, I don't think you could get away with doing that because people aren't into cutting things out, right? Now you have digital codes, like, I think of the cross promotion like Fortnite, right? People were buying Fortnite, but those are back books. When you open the book, you got the code inside. But can you imagine people cutting through their comics? I mean, I don't see, like, in 93.
That's what Image did. Image had an Image #1 where you had to cut coupons out of
and you got
Youngblood #2 and a bunch of other stuff to get that comic.
That's just nuts.
So everybody had to buy multiple copies.
Yeah, in the 90s, there was all kinds of crazy gimmicks, and
they're like, people are buying 10 copies anyway. Yeah. They can cut one.
Or you could photocopy it, but who had a photocopy machine back then?
Exactly. Fax it to me. All right.
You had to go to
Magneto, Twisting of a Soul, issue number 0, the gold logo. Wow. Man, really, that's a deep cut on that one. All right, what do we got up next?
This one's off the rails, folks. Yes,
That's
you're reading that correctly. Next up on the list, we've got Robotech 1996 comic book calendar, issue number 1, originally published in 1995 from Academy Comics Limited. Now, how much would you pay for a 1996 calendar? If you said $450 raw and up to $3,000 for a CGC 9.6, then this is the calendar for you, as that's exactly what this book has sold for. There was a $450 near mint raw sale this week, with a high of $3,000 for a 9.6 back in November of 2020. This traditional looking Robotech comic opens up to 12 black and white pinups of Robotech characters drawn by the various Robotech artists of the time. When it comes to Robotech books, this book is super rare and hard to find. Maybe even the hardest of them all, as most diehard fans would have used it as an actual calendar, throwing it away at the end of the year because, well, it's a freaking calendar. Now, there are only 8 copies on the CGC census, with the highest grade being that one and only 9.6. To our knowledge, there's no booming calendar collector market. However, this effectively starts one.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Macross, the number 1 was the Robotech book to get, but apparently this is the one. Do you guys, I mean, we're so old enough to remember when in the 80s and mostly in the 90s there were swimsuit like pinups, right? I mean, this is not even that. This is just a regular calendar. Do you remember like they had like an X-Men pinup and they would show like, they would show like Colossus in a Speedo and Rogue in a bikini, which made no sense because nobody could touch her skin, it was just like, it was just that thing of the 90s of exploitation. That made me start in the late 80s when they started doing these swimsuit issues. I mean, I don't think you'll ever see that again. Maybe not from the big 2, at least. Maybe you'll see it from a small publisher, like maybe Lady Death or something like that. But,
But I mean, it's printed on the cover, comic book calendar.
Hey, man. I mean, people want to chase it because it's rare. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So
you guys also old enough to remember when you used to go to the mall and they had calendar stores.
Yeah.
What's a calendar anymore? That app on my phone?
Exactly. I mean, what's a watch anymore? I mean, people still wear watches, but I mean, nowadays, when somebody tells me what time it is, I just look at my phone and I'm like, how do you not know what time it is? Do you have a phone? Look it up, man. So Robotech 1996. But what's the universal thing for sign language for what time is it? You point to a watch, right? Yeah. You point to your wrist. That's like let me digress. Let me go off on a tangent. But the also universal thing that's not a thing anymore for rolling down your car window when you pull up beside somebody is that crank motion, right? You still do that. Although who has a crank on their window now?
Dad, what are you doing? I'm telling them to roll down the window.
What are you doing in your?
What do you mean?
When you have to flip somebody off too, just crank that down as hard as you can as well.
Yeah. All right. What do we got up next?
All right, number 8. We're talking about, this is the Thanos issue number 13. This is the awesome Raphael Albuquerque 1 in 25 variant. This is Marvel from 2017. Like the infernal hellfire that graces the face of Ghost Rider, i.e. hot as heck, this book had itself a hot sell. A recent no-grade raw sale came through with a whopping $1,275. That's a $700 increase from its last no-grade sale, and a staggering $900 over the last reported 9.8 raw sale from nearly 4 years ago. That's quite the steady increase for this 1 in 25 Raphael Albuquerque variant cover, which also happens to be the first appearance of Cosmic Ghost Rider. In a bid to punish Thanos for destroying his planet, the deceased Frank Castle signs away his soul after a bid in hell to become the new Ghost Rider, and shenanigans happen. In the end, leaving us with an awesome new character who has found a following in the community. Not surprising to see high sales and continued steady success, but it does need mentioning this book isn't hard to find for a variant cover. While this cover doesn't feature Cosmic Ghost Rider like the third print does, it is the only variant that came to the community to feature Thanos with his most trusty shimmering Infinity Gauntlet, which he is most known for. a truly cosmic threat for the likes of the Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
Dude,
I mean, this
Cosmic Ghost
introduced
Rider
us
is
to a fishbowl head Ghost Rider. I mean, is what I remember. I do. Do you remember this
Sandy
was?
cheeks in space.
She was hilarious though, man.
We
Toting
were
around the baby Thanos on the bars.
we were still doing a show back in 2017, and when Cosmic Ghost Rider came out, it was like all the rage. I remember at one point like Red Goblin. There was a time where people were chasing that. I mean, if Ghost Rider ever come to the big screen, it's kind of, and he's kind of a goofy character too. He's not like Frank Castle. He's like he's almost like a Deadpoolish type character. Because I may have this because I was collecting Thanos at the time, but Cosmic Ghost Rider was a mashup of and at one point I think he became a Herald of Galactus too. I want to say it was some kind of craziness, but Thanos number 13, the Raphael Albuquerque 125 raw sold for $1,275. It means no grade because they couldn't find any evidence of it being it's the seller saying near mint plus or whatever. They said, hey, look at the pictures.
Said, look at the pictures.
Exactly. So that's what the no grade means. Well, we talked comics long enough to not be able to talk about this, so we might as well talk about it now.
Yeah, you knew it was in the thumbnail. You knew it was in the show, and it's on fire. Next up, we've got Wolverine number 88, the deluxe edition, originally published in 1994 from Marvel Comics. This week, the internet was on fire upon the announcement of Deadpool 3 and the inclusion and return of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. This unexpected news makes sense to follow D23 as it would have overshadowed the entire event, and they knew that. While both Deadpool and Wolverine's key books are seeing brisk sales, it was this issue that received the immense attention among all other Wolverine and Deadpool books. Why? Well, you probably know by now, but this issue features the first direct meeting and battle of Wolverine and Deadpool. In just 24 hours, over 200 copies have sold on just eBay alone.
Holy cow.
The deluxe edition is trending at a near mint FMV of $118 with a near mint plus high of $190 and a big sale, ready for this, of $707 for a 9.8. That creeps closer and closer to the all-time high of $1,000 back in August of 2021. Now, if you didn't catch the key wording and use of direct deluxe edition, let us break it down. So several sources are citing that the Toys R Us X-Men Premium Edition as the first meeting and battle. So we grabbed our copies and we read it. First, it does appear to be set in continuity, and it does feature the first meeting of Deadpool and the X-Men. Deadpool appears in 9 panels as a member of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants and has direct interactions with Cyclops and Gambit. However, Deadpool and Wolverine have no interaction, verbal or physical, with each other. This creates a gray area and leaves plenty of room for debate. If they're in the same room together fighting, does that count? There is one panel that shows Deadpool amongst the X-Men deciding to bow out of the fight, where Wolverine is in the distant background fighting the Blob. So what do you think? Is this the first meeting? If you were in a room with 20 people and Todd McFarlane and you didn't speak or interact with Todd, would you say you met him? It's tricky, right? Right now, the price difference is considerable. The Toys R Us giveaway can be found for as low as $4 currently, so the risk is low. However, the market clearly favors Wolverine 88 with a cool cover and dedicated issue to them talking and fighting. It's worth noting that many of the key battles are seeing spikes, including Wolverine 154 and 155.
Yeah, I mean, I'll leave it up there for you. This is the panel where Deadpool and Wolverine both appear in the same panel. I read the book as well. I looked throughout. There's Wolverine is fighting Cyclops at one point, and then because he's part of the Brotherhood.
No, Deadpool is fighting Cyclops.
Yeah, Deadpool is fighting Cyclops. Yeah. Excuse me, because he's part of the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. But this is like this only time they appear in the same panel. So But so be careful what, but sometimes people just want to be first to find something, but it's not really a true meeting per se. Or, I mean, this is where they first meet and they first fight. Just like the first meeting of Miles Morales and 616 Spider-Man, I would argue is in Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 1, they make contact, but they don't know who each other are. In Spider-Man 2, they actually say, I'm Peter Parker, I'm from this world, I'm this world. So if you really want to delve deep and look at that. So be careful if some people are saying that this Toys R Us is, flip it open and you'll see. If you consider this a first meeting, then there you go. Then yeah, if that means, I've met a ton of people, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I know who they are. But
they're both in the same panel, though.
Yeah, they are in the same panel. So you can say
they're in the same panel. That's definitely Wolverine.
Yeah. Did Wolverine acknowledge him at that time in the book? No. Did they fight? No. But there you go. There's the evidence for you. So there it is. So, people will find, there's tons of other books you can get that, first battle, first Wolverine, first Deadpool. I mean, my timeline blew up when Ryan Reynolds did the tweet, and, they've been trolling this for years now. So I don't think Wolverine is long-term, but I could be wrong, but he may make a cameo in Deadpool 3. Ryan Reynolds and him have kind of been teasing this for years now.
What if it's the same cameo where he's sitting at the bar and Deadpool comes in and he says, F off.
Fuck off. Yeah. Because, they were both owned by Fox at a time. And, the closest we got was, Cable was in, Deadpool 2, right? Colossus, obviously. But, there was
Wolverine
a one
Origins had that Wolverine and Wade Wilson.
There you go,
together.
Wolverine Origins. That if you got that, but Ryan Reynolds jokes about that all the time. Remember, even in the tweet, he just said something about sewing his mouth up or something along those lines, and they even call out Kevin Feige. So
his post-credit scene to Deadpool 2, he takes care of that. They replay that scene, and then he comes out and just blows his head off.
Yeah, he blows him away. So we shall see. I think the internet wants it, just like they wanted Con Krasinski as Reed Richards, and we got Reed Richards, and then he got
it.
he got stretched the fuck out. But yeah, he did. So Wolverine 88, the direct deluxe edition, $190 and trending upward.
This is the cooler cover, anyways. This thing is great.
Yeah. All right. Last one, and then we're going to see what's shaking the day, boys and girls. And this one is near and dear to my heart.
Oh, yeah. Wizard #1, everybody. But take a closer look, because this is the San Diego Comic-Con edition from 1991. We'll admit that we didn't grow up with Overstreet as our price guide. Our go-to source of current market prices in the 90s was this magazine. Absolutely, it was Wizard Magazine. As avid subscribers, we eagerly awaited each issue and immediately flipped to the back to see how hot our recent purchases were doing. The road blazed and modernized by Wizard led us to create the cover price. Ironically, the San Diego version of the inaugural #1 issue is now a collectible itself, with this week's huge new sale of $2,151 for a CGC 9.6. One of only 3 blue labels on the census. Tapping into that strong sense of grading and comic pop culture nostalgia, this is one of those sales that we're super jealous of. So yeah, that's definitely true.
Tivo.
No,
yeah, dude, Wizards where it was at.
I have
Wizard was
one
on your pull list.
But you don't have the San Diego.
I think I if it's a different cover, because I have the exact same. I don't know if
it has the San Diego logo there by
it's the same cover. It's just it's got.
I've seen your copy. You don't have
logo on it.
Oh, I don't.
We got the same regular
Gabe's like, I've seen your shit.
Damn it, yeah, because when I saw it, my LCS has like Wizard issues, and when they they have like 10 or 19, and sometimes let's be honest. We all looked in the back, and remember, they would show you literally what was trending. It was highlighted, like these were the hot books.
That was the top 10 list right there.
This was the original top 10 list. Wizard.
Absolutely.
It was part of your pull. You had to get it, along with comic book shop news and whatever periodicals you can get. That
same with the writers and artists. Every month is like, who's the top 10 writer, who's the top 10 artist.
Before it was for the internet, and this is the way that you could advertise that you had stuff coming out. It was they would do a spotlight show. There's been some Wizard books where it was the first appearance of a character before they would come out and being published. That and I would say people love. I would read Wizard magazine from front to back. It was you know, it was just must read. I mean, it was just it's with the advent of the internet, and you know, I guess, you know,
I discovered Watchmen because of Wizard.
Yeah,
it's things like that. Like I learned a lot about comic books and what books to read and what artists and creators to follow and stuff like that.
Wizard
was because of Wizard. That was 100% like our key point for this.
Just like G4 TV and you had Wizard Magazine. You know, G4 did a relaunch and it's not the same. It's all video games now. But when G4 TV first came out, Blair, what was his name? Blair, what's her name? Blair Butler. She did a segment on G4 TV that was just about comic books, and it was great because it was on weird cable TV. I had it on like satellite or something, and G4 TV was a channel where you go get video game news. They would have a horror section and this, and G4 and Wizard Magazine. I mean, you know, too bad, you know. So, but gosh, pour one out for Wizard Magazine. Hell, Wizard, but it's so popular in the world, they even had a con. Remember Wizard World, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That was up until just recently.
Yeah, I still have my Young Avengers Wizard World, man. So hopefully they should bring it back, is what I'm saying. So let's go see what's shaking today, boys and girls. Boom! Seamless transition. Bonus points. So let's see what's this is the top seamless. 10.
Dude,
hey, congratulations.
Let's do the over-under on next top 10 Wolverine books. And
look at that.
Oh, dude, it's going to be at least a 7 next week.
Gotta be 7.
Wow, New Mutants.
The over-under is going to be a 7.
37 New Mutants 98 sold. Holy cow. But let's see what's shaking today, boys and girls. Oh, I have this. Let me add this. Yeah. First appearance of Topaz. I've been specking this for a mile now. Raw.
So dude, that mummy's got some abs, dude. What kind of...
I got like I think
what kind
mine
of work
is like
got that mummy doing?
8.0. Yeah. So yeah, this is first appearance of Topaz. Werewolf by Night is blowing up right now. A 9.8 sold for $3,200. If you see any of these books moving, a lot of insiders got a first look at the Werewolf by Night show already. So, and I talked to one of those people, and I know I can confirm that Elsa Bloodstone plays a major role in the story. So, for those who have Elsa Bloodstone, why is my Hulk 181 on here twice?
That Fantastic Four annual number 2 up there.
Oh yeah, I got to remove this because
one's raw. One's
raw, I had to remove it. So let me lose some value for my book here. So collection, and you say
look at TiVo showing all the wonderful features of Cover Price.
I don't know, man.
You have to go. You have to hit the one off to the left. The little you own one.
So here you go.
Now you can slide down. No, where's that?
It's in here somewhere.
You had
remove
2
comic.
You had 2.
Yeah. So no, I took my raw and then I graded. So I just removed the comic because I didn't sell it because I still have it. So now I go back to the show because I just sold this one too. Matter of fact, I sold this a month too early, man. Oh,
damn.
They done logged me out. They were updating their stuff real time, and they're like, "We can't have you secrets out there." But I got to remove that book as well because I just sold mine. So somebody got a killer deal on it. Let's see what else is shaking. Foundation now, Werewolf by Night. It's good. Yeah, I'm telling you. But you know what we love? We love us some Golden Age books. Look at this. Venus number 4. Are you nearly finished, Mr. Smith? Oh no, keep posing, Side, the most beautiful girl in the world. From Marvel Comics. Look at that. 1949. Somebody paid $1,500, $1,600 for a 7.5 for 1949. Geez, that's a steal. Yeah, that's a steal. Look at it. More early Marvel madness from 1953. Young Men, featuring I think that's the Human Torch Android version. $1,600 for 4.5. Remember, he had a sidekick named El Toro or Toro. It was like yeah. I have this for sale on Showbox if anybody's interested. This Mighty Thor. I have this in a 9.4. I don't know why it's hey, why is it a 9.2? Mine's a 9.4. Yeah, 9.2.
Well, no, a 9.2 just sold. That's what it's.
Oh yeah, mine's a 9.4.
Sold.
9.2 sold for $1,000. Wow, that seems really cheap. When you
just wait till he shows up, dude.
Yeah. When you see high evolutionary show up on the big screen, I mean, that's people need like proof of life. They need to be slapped in the face with.
Wait till that trailer comes out.
Exactly. Look at here we go. Just. I got to just talk about horror books because we're right around the corner for Halloween comic covers. Hashtag Halloween comic covers starting October 1st, boys and girls. Every day. You could also do 31 days of Halloween. $838 for a raw dog. Look at that. That screams to me, do not enter. Why are you even thinking about it? Get out. Get the fuck out. Don't even
come on.
Well, look at that
Get outta
Wolverine
here.
88 right there. I know we just talked about it, but I wanted to point out that one sold for $810. The one we were talking about. So they just sold. Because one in our notes was $700. So it's still going up.
It's still going
There's
up.
a lot of copies sold too. So I mean, we could look at it real time to be honest with you here. So we'll look at the most common slabs, 707. So you want to look at like 9/8 sold. Last sale $600 from today, 707 fair market value. I mean, it's probably going to be updated by tomorrow.
Well, I think you can still go into the breakdown.
I can go
see sales data right there.
Yeah,
the white button. Yeah. And then we see all the 9/8 that they have listed for.
That's a lot.
It would slide down and let's see how many sold in the last couple of days.
Look at that.
Look at that. 928, 928, 928, 928, 928, 928.
And it's all trending upward too. I mean, look, if you look at 927, it went from
425, 575, 500, 640.
Now 640,
650, 800.
Look at what it was in August or July. It was going for $200 for a 9/8 in July.
Man.
Yeah.
$230.
That's amazing. And there's a lot of them out there too.
Yesterday's prices.
Wow. It will continue to grow too. And we probably added to the growth by talking about it. This book is moving for some odd reason. We've had it on here before. Sailor Moon, the pink foil variant from San Diego Comic-Con 1998. First U.S. Sailor Moon comic recently sold $750 for a raw dog. I saw some people post about it on Instagram. I think they may even tag me because we talked about it in the show before. And I even reached out to them. I say, is there any news that I haven't heard that's dropped, like live action Sailor Moon news? And, the only thing we can find is there's going to be a Sailor Moon museum opening up in Japan. So if that spurred sales, and, maybe so. But
this might be someone who's just a Sailor Moon fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Nyx is moving now only because of, I got to think, Wolverine's daughter somehow.
That's her second appearance. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember at one point people were specking on like the vial it wasn't even Nyx yet. It was just her in a test
tube that just said X23 on it.
X23 test tube. It's like people have lost their minds for a while now, so it doesn't surprise me at all. Here we go. Look at this. This is a book that I was chasing for a while, and now I think I've been priced out. First appearance of Man-Thing. Raw dog, $600. Highest known value, $37,200 in November of 2021. I had a chance to buy this at WonderCon, and I said, I think it's a little too high. I probably should have got it. Justin was there when he was like, I said, I'm at this show. I need to get the first appearance of Swamp Thing or Man-Thing, excuse me. And I was like, and then we finally found one. It's too pricey, but people have done lost their damn minds. So I have this one. I need to add this guy. I do believe it's first solo Morbius since Amazing Spider-Man 101. Boom. Let me add this. Unfortunately,
that's a great cover.
Oh, see, I would have been screwed up. I think the title is just Fear.
Yeah, it is.
Good luck finding that one when you're trying to.
So yeah,
I would have went with Adventure into Fear. I would have been with a man called Morbius. I would have went with a living vampire. But it's
just like Adventure into Fear. Let's look at, if you look at number one, that's here. Let's look at this.
Just hit Fear.
Or you can go back one,
and it'll go back to all the covers.
No, if I just click here. So if you look at the first one, I mean, it was called Fear a while.
And then they went boom to Adventure into Fear.
Yeah. So am I missing something here? Hold on.
No, you just went
go back. So
right there.
Adventure into Fear number 10 is when they first start. Oh, I have this too. Let me add this. This is the first appearance of Jennifer Kale and the next is All Realities, and I have 2 copies.
Ooh, someone read the tea leaves, everybody.
I had a chance to get the Fear and the Fear number 10 and then the Man-Thing number 1 at the recent Las Vegas con.
Yeah.
This was going for good prices too. I wanted to grab it, but I got a Daredevil 7 instead. But
so there you go. If you want the first solo, appearance of Man-Thing, this would probably be the book to get. If you can't afford the other one,
that book's crazy expensive. That book's already too late.
Oh, yeah.
Too late. Too late.
Yeah.
Too late.
But yeah, I got that other one, the first solo Morbius. Supposedly there's a move of a Morbius sequel, even though we never asked for it. Apparently they think they can do better. Shout out to all my Trekkies. Not, sorry. This book is funny because of the She-Hulk series, right? If you first appearance of the Wrecker, I think the show is hilarious how it makes fun of itself. And dude, we got El Aguila, and Manbull. Spoiler alert. That was to me.
That was crazy.
That was freaking hilarious. That we're talking about Z-list characters, but Al Aguila at least was costume accurate.
Swashbuckler.
Pretty darn close to it, which is hilarious to me. So good to see Young Avengers on there. Oh, look at this.
Oh, that's the Whatnot.
Yeah, look at that. That is a gnarly cover. Good old Tyler Kirkham from Skybound.
Good old Tyler Kirkham. He found himself a nice niche that he's getting comfortable with. Like doing these covers for Whatnot. It's basically the same like idea, but they're awesome.
Just different characters,
covered in blood. Yeah,
they're great.
Yeah.
Covered
Here we go. Some more Vampirella.
There's the 11 cover. That was the one in the story. That was the other that was the other cover in the story.
This is Brian Boland's cover, or Dave Stevens, excuse me. Rest in peace, Dave Stevens. Draws women.
Rocketeer.
Yep. Dave Stevens. I also have this one with the girl that she has like these crazy kind of pants that come out. I forgot what it was called.
Hey Tim, do me a favor. Click on that Jonah Hex #1. I just love Jonah Hex books. That's just cool.
Yeah, too bad the movie sucked.
Yeah.
So this is Jonah Hex #1. It's not even the first appearance of Jonah Hex.
No, it's just the first #1. Yeah.
Yeah, the first #1. I remember when they announced the Jonah Hex movie, some people were speculating, and then the movie came out and people dropped that shit like an anchor, man.
Hell,
boy.
It's such a good series, though. I love Westerns, Why not? We're getting a resurgence of crime and stuff and, horror books, so Westerns.
I have this in a 9.8 actually now. So I think I had 2 of these actually. So I bought, because I have this in a 9.8 as well. Because I've been buying up all the different variants for this. So if you look,
Young Avengers.
Yeah. So there's this one is the one I don't have. Ryan has this one, the 9.5, but I have the director's cut, the regular Marvel Legends, and I have this one as well. I have every one of them except for this 9.5, which was a weird thing that, speaking of Wizard World, they did specifically for Wizard World LA.
Can you slide back up real quick? I want to hit a book up there that I think is an undervalued. Let's look at that X-Men 129 up there.
Oh, first.
Yeah.
Where did it go? Oh,
right
here.
There.
First appearance of Kitty Pryde, right?
First appearance of
Kitty Pryde
and Emma Frost. Double key.
That's a cover for Throwdown Thursday right there. Boom.
That's a cover.
This is a cheap book, though. I think that's what JB was trying to say. Like this.
Well, no, someone in the chat, was it Jason's? Jason Klein said that's an undervalued book, and I went back up and I said, yeah, you're right.
But
for 3,200 is a good price for like a 9.8.
And two characters, Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. So
double key.
We'll never forget the Emma Frost that was in the Fox version, will we?
Oh, that was disappointing.
She was bad.
She was because the actress is amazing. Like January Jones is great, but I don't know what happened in that movie.
Tales from the Crypt, number 38. Look at that. What is he hacking at? God, these EC horror.
You gotta buy it and find out, right?
$500 in a raw, $7,500 for a 9.4. Good Lord have mercy. Well, 2 days away from when is October 1st?
October 1st is Saturday.
1st, Saturday. So start posting and hashtag Halloween comic covers for any horror, supernatural, any
spooky,
occult theme,
Halloween comic
skulls, anything. I mean, vampires, zombies, any type of covers. All right, blowing up the Instagram. Let's do it, man. Gabe, any last words?
Everybody, thanks for showing up. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, JB, any last words?
Yeah, check out my Instagram. If you're watching this show and you want to see more JB, check out the Instagram because I'm on a couple of different platforms. I'm making appearances other places. Check me out on the IG. I appreciate you for hanging out with us, and hopefully I'll see you next Thursday for another edition of the Shakers List.
That's right, boys and girls. Until next time, we'll see you Tuesday. You got 2 or 3 days in a row. I'm tired. I need a break. So I'll see you guys Tuesday for the top 10. Wednesday for Letters from Longbox with Mikey Sutton, and Thursday for the Shaker Show. In the meantime, I am going to go and I'm just going to slumber like a vampire and then arise from my coffin for Halloween comic covers. So until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in the long boxes and peace out.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my God.
Come on and get some, boys.
In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's three greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Come on and get some, boys.
Heck, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
What's in the box?